stops you from being able to concentrate, problem solve, get yourself out of a learned helplessness situation. It is the worst thing for you. And every single time you take 5 to 7 minutes a day or more, and you do deep breathing and let things come into your mind, but let them go, you're communicating to your brain that you're safe. And you'll be surprised to find all of a sudden you can concentrate again. You can feel feelings of affection. You can feel feelings of trust. You get flooded back with some of these positives that you lost because your brain was so afraid.
When we're in survivor mode, I think it's like our blood pressure goes up, it's elevated, we're hyper vigilant all the time. I mean, a lot of people don't understand what survivor mode means. It's just kind of like just where we just can't relax. There's some people that feel sheltered, they have everything going, they can relax and just chill. And then there's some people who've been through trauma, sudden loss, death of a loved one, fear of abandonment, fear of the unknown, just from pre-exposed conditions, pre-exposed trauma from abuse, other things. And they end up in like this survivor mode of living. And it's nonstop stress. It's nonstop fear. It's nonstop go, 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 go. And I think it shaves years off of our lives, to be honest, if we don't take the time to try to be mindful and use mindfulness and to stay in the moment, stay in the present, try to worry about things as they come, not the what ifs, not the should haves, not the worrying about the world that, like, or whatever situation each of us worry. Everybody has their own different intrusive thoughts, but there's so many times that people worry about and prepare for and stress about the things that haven't quite happened yet. And it puts us in this hypervigilant mode of go, like on the go. It's like, I can't think of exactly how I want to say it, but of urgency is what I'm trying to say. And all of that plus, and then you add this pandemic right now. And, not only are people in survivor mode, that's why I think the toilet paper, I still get that. All the Charmin went missing. Everyone's been able to wipe their tiny right now, but just saying, that's the first thing people go for in this. Who saw that coming? Just saying, but survivor mode, go, 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 prepare, and prepare for the worst rather than, sit and take one day at a time, be mindful and handle the problem as it arises. I mean, I understand about being prepared and being smart, don't get me wrong, but to be in a constant state of stress and panic isn't healthy for anyone. And don't you feel like that's learned? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, there's a really good technique that Dr. Sean Aker writes about in his book, The Happiness Advantage. And he says, he calls it Zorro's Circle. And he says, what you can do if you suffer from that feeling very overwhelmed and excessive worrying, that sort of OCD that some of your clients suffer from, or anxiety, fear. Yeah. He says you take 2 pieces of paper, and on the one piece of paper, you write down the things that are in your control that you can tackle. Because then the more active we are, the more we tackle things that are within our control, the happier we are, the more our brain interprets this as us being in charge, and it feels really good, as opposed to learned helplessness again.
Yeah, like a little sense of accomplishment, even if it's a small task, like clean the toilet,
absolutely,
wash it off, and feeling good about ourselves. It's a self-esteem thing, actually, too.
Absolutely. But then on the other piece of paper, we write a list of the things that we cannot control. We cannot control COVID-19 right now. Well, let it go then. You can't control it. You can't check it off your list. So stop thinking about it. It's really it's as you said, it's counterproductive. So you let it go. So you have your 2 different things. I mean, I think what's so
control is how we react to it, though. We can take safety precautions. We can stay social distancing. We can use, the CDC's recommendation, the Center for Disease Control, follow the right recommendations. I recommend not watching the news, but just check in with the World Health Organization, the CDC, the people that are really like on top of actual facts rather than, left or right, news stuff. You're in Canada, so you don't know what I'm talking about, I guess. But like, CNN versus Fox News, like one's Republican, one's Democratic, whatever. I don't know. But then you can look up on the the Center for Disease Control, CDC, the World Health Organization, they're going to tell you exactly what to do with the COVID rather than who said what and whatever. I don't know. It's more factual rather than anything. More factual rather than fearful
opinion. Yeah. Well, that it's interesting you'd say that, because what I was going to talk about is exactly that factual piece that's so important. I mean, what we learned from neuroscience is and it goes back to mindfulness. What people don't understand about mindfulness is you're taking a moment to separate your mind from your brain. Mm-hmm. So your brain gets anxious. Your brain is full of fear. Your brain might get pumped up full of cortisol. But every single time you start to deep breathe and separate your mind so that your mind is actually looking at your brain, oh, you're full of anxiety. Oh, you have all these things that are out of your control that you're spinning out on. Oh, that's so interesting. I'm making a choice as the mind. In this mindful moment, I'm going to let you go because I can't do anything about you right now. So it's my choice. It's my choice who I listen to. It's my choice what I watch. Mm-hmm. It's my choice what I do. The mind reminds us 24/7, it's our choice. So you can ramp your brain up and you can calm yourself down. Right. You can choose to passively accept what's happened to you, or you can actively, like you say, be prepared or push back.
I love that you said that. Because mindfulness is so important. It's anxiety is a learned behavior. We have a bit of anxiety genetically, but it's up to us on what we're going to listen to. If we're going to live in the what if world, if we're going to fear the unknown, all that stuff. Mindfulness takes us out of the, what we can control, like the serenity prayer. Grant us the wisdom to accept the things we cannot change, courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I think I have it right. It's because, a lot of those fears lead people into addictions, into other things, worrying about what we can't change, what we can't control. And the mindfulness, it's just like the dead set of dialectical behavioral therapy. Also, it's like the whole center of it. Mindfulness is just staying in the present, to be like taking ourselves out of whatever and focus on the things that we can control right now. Right now, is it something that we can control right this second, and then focus on what we are allowed, and then, of course, take precautions for what might come in the future, but handle things one thing at a time rather than worry about something that hasn't occurred yet, because we can only control what we can control is how we react to a certain situation. It defines our character, defines who we are in a crisis, and it keeps us out of that high anxiety. Well, just notice the time, Dr. Fraser, hold on 1 second. It's time for our second break. But I want to get into more of the healing, and then I want to hear about your second book coming out. I'm so excited for you. And more of the healing. And I want to welcome callers again. Call in 866-826-1340. We are live from the radio here, just doing the social distancing, but still, it's still a radio show right now. 866-826-1340. And we'll be back with Moments of Clarity in just a moment. Stay tuned.
We will return to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Warner after these messages.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
If you are like most people, you worry with the financial challenges you face today. How do you protect your family from financial ruin? How will you reduce your liabilities and get out of debt sooner? And how can you deal effectively with the constant changes in your job, your career, and your business? Overcoming your financial challenges is like building a house. You must build from the ground up. You must learn how to make more money, save more money, grow your money, and protect your money. Forever Forward Financial specializes in teaching you these 4 basic money skills so you can achieve your dreams and end your worry. Call us today and schedule your complimentary, no-obligation meeting to discuss your needs and concerns. Call Scott Bigley at 727-422-7761.
Are you looking for a great book? If you like to root for the underdog, Joe Potosi's book is a book for you. A real American Odyssey that will grab your attention with its fast-moving narrative. You won't be able to put this masterpiece down. When the Dust Settled by Joe Potosi. Go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or Zulin Press.
Hi, this is Tiffany Warner, your host of Moments of Clarity. Living with a mental health disorder is not easy. If you or someone you know are struggling with this, please know it's so important to seek treatment and and I'm here to help. Please visit the website at momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com to view blog posts and resources on this site to help educate and inspire you to take action, because there's no shame in seeking help for mental health. While you're there, please take a few seconds to sign up for my email list. You'll get some extremely valuable educational and entertaining content that can be sent right to your inbox each week. Plus, you'll also get instant and free access to my guide on managing your anxiety. You can also follow me on Twitter at MOC with Tiffany and at Facebook at Tiffany Warner. And once again, the website is momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com. Thank you so much for your support and for listening to your show, because change can only come when we stand together as one.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Now back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Warner, licensed mental health counselor. To engage in the conversation, call 866-826-1340. Here's Tiffany.
Hi, and welcome back. And if you're just tuning in, this is Moments of Clarity. My name is Tiffany Warner. I am a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And today we're talking about how certain traumas and things can affect the brain, neuroscience, and not only with the pandemic going on, how trauma can affect empathy and cortisol levels and neuroscience. And with my good friend, who is the author of Teaching Bullies and just published another book, and I want to promote that as well. I'm so proud of her. And really, really not only making a breakthrough in how trauma affects us, but what to do with it as well, how it affects the brain, why we react the way we do, and then how to change that. And welcome back to Moments of Clarity, Dr. Jennifer Fraser. Thank you so much. And
thank you for having me. So the new book is not yet published. It's under review with editors. So fingers crossed, it comes out soon with a great publishing house. And basically what I did in this book, it's called The Bullied Brain. It's called What Neuroscientists Know About Brain Scars and How to Heal Them. And that word brain scars, I think it's the thing that most gripped me when I wrote Teaching Bullies. I'd never looked at the neuroscience before. I didn't know about it. We don't teach it to our kids in school. I mean, neuroscientists know so much about the brain right now that it's just blossomed in the last 20 years because of technology. You know, we can look at the brain in ways that we couldn't before, non-invasively. And I think for most of us, it's kind of overwhelming. We have enough going on. We have enough work to do. We have enough knowledge. And we just feel like, oh my goodness, do we really need to know about what's going on inside our skulls? And can't we just leave that to the experts? And what I really realized in studying trauma and in studying bullying was, what I found exciting was that we can actually change it in real time, right here, right now. We don't need to be a scientist looking in an MRI scanner. We don't. They have written the books that we need. They've explained, they've shared with us. And so I just see myself, my job in a sense, and I've always, for 20 years, I've been an educator in the classroom. Mm-hmm. And I just feel now like I need to be an educator in this very specific area because nobody else has done it. And I just want everyone to know. And I just want to share it. So that brain scars word, if you take anything away from our conversation today, it's to know that, if you say something cruel to someone else, it's invisible, but it actually does damage to their brain. It hurts their brain in serious ways. So, I mean, we all feel bad if we say something.
The smile, like I was saying, I've seen people hold on one more day because someone smiled at them and they decided not to kill themselves that day. Same with an insult could work the opposite way too, right?
And you know what? That's such an important point because one of the things that's so fascinating is our brains have what they call limited cortical real estate. In other words, our brains don't have endless amounts of space for everything. So going back to what we said before about choice, you choose what your brain looks like. You can choose to really develop the aggression, bullying, cruel side of your brain. And it will take a big space. And that will take resources away from compassion, from empathy, from critical thinking, from problem solving. You can feed that reactive part of your brain, no problem, and make it really big and have it take over a huge amount of space. But you can also reduce that space. And so going back to this business about the smile, what's so fascinating is there's a part of the brain called the fusiform gyrus. And the fusiform gyrus, they're learning daily. They're learning in a row. No, I'm sorry. They're daily learning, like
fusiform gyrus.
The fusiform gyrus, yeah. Just trust me. So the fusiform gyrus, what's cool about it is it's the part of the brain that recognizes faces. And they know that